welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. I know you will hear this episode on Wednesday. I have a bunch coming out on Monday. You will probably hear this episode on Wednesday. I shouldn't say probably. You will hear this episode on Wednesday. But I get to talk about my other favorite passion, which is art and the creation of art, because I have Lisa with me today. So without further ado, I'm going to let Miss Lisa take it away.
Thank you. So I am an entrepreneur, visionary artist, motivational speaker, and founder of Nolan Design. I work with creative entrepreneurs who've lost their mojo and inspirational vision, and I help them reclaim their power so they can find the courage to create their great work.
Well, that is a synopsis in itself. Now, Lisa, why did you start all this? Did you leave corporate America and say, forget this? Or did you have the drive as a child to start this? Or did you just get sick of your job and say, I want to do something to help others?
I think it's an amalgamation of many things. I have been an entrepreneur myself for 32 years. My education, I went to Pratt Institute, so I'm a seasoned graphic designer and marketer of Leslie Nolan Design, which is an award-winning graphics studio. And I have this natural visionary talent, so I'm able to conceptualize, and I help other business owners grow their business initially through graphics and design. But what has started this for me is I've always painted on the side, and I've also taught painting on the side. And I'm really interested in that intersection between creativity, spirituality, and consciousness. And when my father passed and died, there were so many emotions and there was so much drama between my siblings that I went to the place I always have gone to since a child and teenager and a young adult and a full-grown adult, and that is to paint. So I started to paint, and it opened up these incredible vistas for me. And I started to learn about how intention and in creating with intention, how that can really navigate my personal power and inspire vision. So I was so taken with this work that I realized I couldn't get enough of it and that it was time for me, like my father who was a teacher and my mother who was a teacher, to inspire others and share this knowledge and find results for them in their lives.
Well, to infuse a little bit of my story, the reason why I said, oh boy, as you were speaking, is because you know how tough being in a teacher's family is. And I'm actually leaving the education field in the next 3 years to pursue my dream / my passion for journalism. And I am going back to school to the Academy of Arts in San Francisco, which is very similar to Pratt.
Yes.
This fall to get my degree, so I hope, in fashion journalism. Well, I should say so I hope. I will get my degree.
Yes, you will, because that's your intention, and you said it.
Yes.
And I heard you. I'm your witness.
Yes. So, okay. So your parents never got out of the teaching field, did they? They got
well, my father was I think he taught for, I don't know if it was like 40 plus years at least. So he was in the school system in Wallington, New Jersey for most of his career. My mom raised four children, so she, besides being a mother, she also, edited. She worked for a printer. She taught yoga. She taught English as a second language, as my father did, in school systems. My father also did it privately for businessmen, and she taught in some school systems, and then later she had her own cafe in New York City called Thomasina's, and she, after that, was in public relations in Hoboken at St. Mary's Hospital, so she's very involved in community affairs. So they're both very colorful people, and they're both coming from, I guess, the education and the journalism. They met at Seton Hall in college, actually. So in some senses, I guess I've always been a teacher myself.
Well, once you are a teacher, you can't take the teacher out of the teacher. That's what I've quickly discovered. And journalism is a form of teaching, and so is art. I mean, graphic design is a form of teaching in a visual way, because people look at graphic design, and a picture is 1,000 words, and they want to know if they want to work with that company or not.
That's correct. You can tell a lot by a person based on their artwork, so it kind of sums up the personality and where they're thinking. And that's why people always like to see your portfolio or your book, because they want to get a sense of your style, a sense of the type, are you better at image? So as a designer, what I had was the capability of painting and drawing, which not all graphic designers have. And coming from a family of very literate people, I have some writing ability. You would definitely want to check my work over for typos. But I do have some writing ability. And so what's interesting in marketing graphics is you're marrying words and image together. Yeah. And I do that quite naturally, yes.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I am working with a graphic designer right now, and as we do this interview, she's putting the final touches on my next book for you guys. So she's right now, I just got an update from her last night saying by the end of the day today, I will have my book cover, and if I like it, we don't need to revise it. But I'm not giving you hints as to what it's going to be. But it's so funny because she married these words, the mosaic of CP, with a beautiful book cover. And it's so funny you say that, Lisa, because you're right. You're marrying words with art. And art is in the eye of the beholder. And by the way, the reason why I'm so passionate about this subject is because I used to be a self-taught digital artist from 2006 to 2012, and then I gave that up for public speaking, podcasting. So I don't do it so much anymore, but I should do it. I know my art is still floating around online, and you guys can go find it. But I should do it. But it's so funny that you mentioned that you're marrying the art of words and the art of design together. And so, what has been your favorite piece that you have designed?
Well, I think that my favorite pieces now are my actual visionary art. I could talk about graphics, but my current work is really in this very deep process where you're going even further. You're marrying words, you're marrying image, you're marrying spirituality, you're marrying intention, you're marrying your emotions, and most importantly, you're marrying energy as a way to express your emotions and create your great work in the world. So this is even a deeper dive than the work I've done before. The work I've done before is I would create something for someone else, somebody else's business, somebody else's, campaign, someone else's book. But now I help other people create the work for themselves so that they're able to find direction, relieve some stress, make new synapses between the left and right hemisphere of their brain, help them get started on a way to focus on what their creative purpose is and what they should be doing at this stage of their life. So that's what I'm really loving. So it's whatever I'm working on at the moment is my favorite piece. So I have one piece that I completed. I actually brought it into my office. I don't think I've had any of my other works in my office. I cleaned up my bookshelf and made it a place of honor, and it's in my office space right now. But I do have some pieces that I would consider to be classics in a sense that they've hit or been a touch point or a turning point for a stage of my life. So sometimes I might paint my muse, or I might paint my higher self. Sometimes I might paint an image of the feminine divine, or I might just be open to what comes through me, because when you work in that state of not quite knowing and just be open, just amazing things are created, beautiful images that are more captivating and powerful than if you tried to plan them out on your own.
Now, what is your favorite book? It doesn't have to be a business-related book. It just has to be a book that you go back to time and time again.
I probably answered this for you, but the first thing that popped in my mind was The Little Prince. I received that book from my cousin when I was a child, and I still have it. And I think it was way over my head, and in some ways I still think it's way over my head. But I go back and I get a different perspective each time I read it.
Now, what is your favorite podcast if you have one?
I don't know if I have a favorite podcast, but I really enjoy watching Laura Hollick's videos. She turns out the most mystical, creative videos as a way to showcase her great work in the world. And they're just mesmerizing, absolutely mesmerizing and unbelievably gorgeous.
You guys, videos on the YouTube account too. It doesn't have to be a podcast. Even though I'm a podcast junkie, it doesn't have to be a podcast.
I think her stuff is just unbelievable.
There's more artistic works on YouTube than you could imagine.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. So what is your favorite piece of technology that you use on a daily basis?
My Macintosh. I love my Mac.
I knew you were going to say that. I just acquired for my 30th birthday the 12.9-inch iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil. Oh my God, that thing is
You love it?
And I love it, and I love it, and I love it.
Is it fun?
It's fun. And there's so many creative suites on the iPad now that, it's going to save me in journalism. So let's just put it that way. My iPad is going to be my homework assistant. because
Oh, nice.
even though there's so many creative suites on the Mac too, it's like, let's get this party started. Let's do this. And
Yeah.
the drawing.
I've been on the Mac since 1989, and everybody said it wouldn't last. But it's what's made me independent. It's the thing that's merged all my work together. And it still impresses me.
I have too. I've been on a Mac since, what, the early 90s, dating myself. I have never been on a PC. PCs scare me.
They are scary.
Having a big Mac in my second grade classroom to type spelling test on, and so I was using assistive technology way back when
Nice.
technology was even a thing. And so, yeah, I've been a Mac girl since the early 1990s. I had the colorful Macs. I had the, you name it, on the Mac. I now have it, or at least have access to it. So, if you had to be educated by anyone, inside or outside your field, who would it be and why?
If I needed to be educated, was that the word?
Yes. If you needed to be educated by anyone inside or outside your field, who would it be and why?
Wow. That's intense. It would be a toss-up between Mother Mary and Jesus. I'll take them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn.
There's a lot to learn. And they're autistic rights in themselves, too. So.
That's right. And very peaceful yet powerful people. And very loving people.
Peaceful yet powerful. I love it.
Yeah.
So, where can people find you, and how can people get a hold of you? And of course, we will have all of Lisa's information in the show notes. You guys know how to get to show notes by now. At least I hope you do. If you flip over any podcast artwork or hit or swipe left in Overcast, you could get to Lisa's show notes, or just flip it over in the iTunes app and then Apple Podcast app, and then you could get to Lisa's show notes. But where can people find you, Lisa?
Well, they can find me at www.leslienolandesign.com. And what I'd like to offer your listeners is a free Get Your Mojo Back breakthrough session. It lasts about 50 minutes. It's free. It's normally $175. And they can schedule it for themselves by going to www.acuity, that's spelled ACUITY, scheduling. Oh, I'm sorry. It would be www.mojo.acuityscheduling.com. So that's the link that can schedule them to me. If they have any questions or would like to see any of my artwork, they can email me at leslienolandesign.com.
And Leslie, I apologize to you. I keep calling you Lisa.
That's okay. I have a cousin, Lisa, so I respond to both.
Yeah. You respond to both. I cousin was and I got the L stuck, and then it just carried on. So I apologize. But now you can turn the mic on me and ask me a couple of questions.
Yes, I'm very curious as to why you went from, say, digital design. What inspired you to become a speaker and a podcaster?
Oh, geez. Why I went from digital design? Well, I'm still a digital designer. I just don't do it anymore. maybe after my journalism degree I will do it. Yes, you heard that right. Yeah, I promise you guys after my digital journalism degree I will get back to being a digital designer in digital arts. So why I got into all this mess is because I had a stop and smell the roses moment in 2010, and that stop and smell the roses moment, I fully admit in my book, I, Win, which could be found on Amazon, I, W-I-N, that's how you spell it. And my stop and smell the roses moment in 2010 was my mom passing away from meningitis / a brain aneurysm. She went into the hospital with a brain aneurysm and passed away in the hospital of the meningitis. So that was my stop and smell the roses moment. And ever since then, I've dropped the Apple Pencil and dropped the paintbrush and became a motivational speaker. But I think after I receive my degree, which will be my associate degree, I will go back to being a digital artist.
Okay, so it's something you still love, but there was that kind of stopping point, and at that, through that death, so to speak, it opened up something new for you because you wanted to speak and share some messages.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You hit the nail right on the head.
Good for you.
And so I totally switched my path, and I'll be switching my path again in the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I'm switching my path to leave education on a good note, and I'm actually becoming a music teacher for, I hope, the next 3 years, starting in September. So I get to do the creative side instead of teaching preschool, which I have been doing 11 years. So I'm really excited about that.
Good for you. And there's something about, I don't know if it's really switching. I would rather say you're transitioning into becoming more of the totality of you, weaving together all of your talents.
Yeah.
And sometimes the role changes. You could be a teacher, a digital designer, or an educator, or a speaker. But those are all of your talents, And so you're just weaving them together and going to what calls you.
Yep. So
very nice.
That's what I'm doing within the next 3 years.
Very nice.
And so do you have any other questions for me?
I'm wondering what were some of the topics that you like to speak on?
Oh, do you want the long answer or the short answer or the medium answer?
Whatever you want, however you want to answer it.
Okay, I'll give you a medium answer. I'll give my public a medium answer. Well, my first topic that I love to speak on is the creative arts, because creating a podcast is art form in itself. And so the creative arts is something I love to speak on. My second favorite topic to speak on with my audience is education. My third favorite topic is the disabled and disabled advocacy. Not necessarily disabled rights about the ADA, but the Advancements with Disabilities Act, but disabled advocacy and how not to treat us as dummies and how not to treat disabled people or handicapped people as dummies. So that's my third favorite topic. My fourth favorite topic is journalism. As I said, I've been doing this for the past 4 years now, and they're doing this show for the past 4 years in different formats. And so now I think it's time for me to get professionally trained, and that's what I'm going back to school for, is to get my final degree in journalism.
Good for you. What a wonderful transition. What a wonderful opportunity to be able to share your experiences with other people.
Thank you for saying that. And I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode with Leslie and I. And as I said, we'll have all Leslie's information in the show notes. And it was wonderful to talk the creative.
It was wonderful to talk to you, and maybe one day we'll meet up in San Francisco. Yes. I love that city.
Yes. And I don't know where you're located now, but you sound like you're on the West Coast, are you?
I think that part of my heart lives in the West Coast, but I am born and bred. I am a Jersey girl. So,
oh boy. Well, I might have to make my way out to New York then for New York Fashion Week.
There you go.
Make my way out to New York for New York Fashion Week. Let's hope I can do that, and then I can come into your studio, stop by your office, and
come on down by the Jersey Shore. That's where I live and work.
So, I will, but I hope you guys enjoyed a fabulous episode with Leslie and I hope you guys enjoy Butterflies of Wisdom. And this podcast has been sponsored by Grace by Grit. Grace by Grit is giving you guys a 20% off code when you type in the code EXO Butterflies, and they are giving you a 20% off code. As I said, that information can be found in the show notes. And thanks you guys for listening, and I hope you guys enjoy. Bye.
Bye. Are you still there? Hello?